I'm Darren McGrady, the Royal Chef, former chef to the Queen, Princess Diana, Prince William and Prince Harry, and I'm going to be preparing one of Prince William and Harry's favourite dishes, cottage pie. Cottage pie is a traditional nursery dish, and it's been served by the royal family for over 100 years. William and Harry were 7 and 10 when I started cooking for them at Kensington Palace. And they'd come in the kitchen all the time. If they saw me cooking this one, they knew it was going to be a fun lunch. Cottage pie is just a delicious combination of the ground beef and the onions, a little garlic, a little gravy browning, salt and pepper, some flour to thicken, and some nice broth in there as well. And that just simmers away. And once that's done, we put some mashed potatoes on the top, finished off with a little cheese, a little cilantro, and it just makes the most incredible dish that I prepare for the boys at least every time they came home. William and Harry were in the kitchen all the time, whether it was to find out what was for lunch or to just play hide and seek or just to come through and chat. Sometimes they'd want to come through and cook. That was always a worrying experience, but it was always fun having the boys in the kitchen. And although it was a royal palace, they were royal children, and just like normal children, running around the house, having fun. So I'm now adding some gravy browning just to darken the meat a little and the sauce, and then some garlic. William and Harry were much different. I remember Princess Diana being in the kitchen one day, and the boys had just been in chatting away, and the princess says, "You know, the boys are so different. William's deep like his father, and Harry is just an airhead like me." Yikes. When the boys were bored, they'd actually come and ask if they could cook in the kitchen too. One day, I was making stuffed eggplant for Princess Diana, and William says, "Oh, can I make that?" I lifted it out the oven, put it on the table, and he lifted it onto the plate. Just as he did, Princess Diana walked into the kitchen, and he just twisted it like that, and it just collapsed onto the plate. It was like a train smash. And I said, "Oh, Your Royal Highness, William's made you lunch." Yikes, that was a mess. When they stayed with Princess Diana at Kensington, it was a lot more relaxed. The princess would let them eat dinner, watching TV on a Saturday night. That was always fun for them. She wanted them to be royal princes, but at the same time, she wanted them to be children too. I think it was probably a little bit more relaxed when they were with Mum. So we went about 5 minutes or so on that. William and Harry really were good when it came to whatever foods we put on the table. It was a balance really of dishes that Nanny chose for them, like the sort of roast chicken and the green vegetables. And then switch in, other days too. Things like the cottage pie and burgers and hot dogs. They were pretty good. They never really sort of left lots of food at all. They always made sure there was room for pudding. It was really funny cooking at Kensington Palace for William and Harry. There was a constant battle going on with Princess Diana and the nanny. And Nanny always insisted that the boys had their greens. They've got to have their cabbage. They've got to have their broccoli. And Princess Diana was, "Oh, if they don't want that, they don't have to eat it. They can go straight to burgers and hot dogs and things like that. And if they want to skip that altogether, they can just have pudding. That's okay." She was a real mum. Then before we put the potatoes on the top, this has to set for about 30 minutes in the refrigerator. I have so many memories of my 15 years with the royal family. Seeing Princess Diana come into the kitchen with William and Harry, just seeing a real family. That's when she was happiest, when she was in Kensington Palace with her little boys, just her and the boys. They were such fun times. Seeing the boys growing up, giving them the new experiences, letting them sample different foods, and seeing their faces when they're trying dishes for the first time. Watching them cook in the kitchen. Seeing Harry throw pasta at the wall to see if it sticks, because I told him that's how you tell if it's cooked. Happy memories at Kensington. You don't normally have a relationship or stay in contact with members of the royal family after you leave. We're servants in the kitchen to the royal family, and they're just on a different level. I send William and Harry notes every now and again. I sent them copies of my cookbooks when they came out. Hopefully they use them. Prince Harry cooked roast chicken for Meghan when he was dating. I think I showed him how to do that recipe. Delicious layer of ground beef, creamy mashed potatoes on the top. And I think that this was William and Harry's favourite part, that cheddar cheese sprinkled over the top so that when it comes out of the oven, it just runs and melts and goes all gooey into the mashed potatoes. What's not to like about cottage pie? William and Harry were at school all week and would come home odd weekends. So this was a real treat for them to come home to. Some steaming hot cottage pie with that melted cheese on the top. The potatoes running into the pie mix there. This was one of the favorites. And if it wasn't on the menu, they'd come in and say, "Can we have cottage pie, please, for dinner?"